Okay.
All right. Where do you want to start? Do you want to chillax? Good morning. I guess it's afternoon now. Do you want to chillax for a bit, or do you want to get to work? It's up to you.
So we can get to work.
All right, let's get to work.
Oh. Oh. Ah.
Okay. Let it all out. Moan it all out.
Yeah.
All right. So let's just start with a quick update. How are things feeling?
Oh.
Okay.
Yeah, things are feeling good, but
Okay.
I'm just sore from a workout. So
Okay. Whereabouts are you sore? Where do you
from the pelvis down,
Okay.
glutes, quads, hamstrings, all through like the IT band and piriformis and.
Oh, okay. So like you said, everything from the head down, right?
Yeah, did I forget anything? Quads.
It's really nice to see you standing evenly on 2 feet.
Yeah.
So when you're talking and you're standing, that looks great. Very much used to you know, shifting your weight quite a bit off your
Good.
hip.
Yeah.
So it looks really nice to see. How does that feel? Is it starting to
Yeah.
feel more normal? Like.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it is. I mean, it's
That's great.
pretty much, you know, if anything, like I say, I'm feeling, you know, some of the dysfunction in the, you know, in the left side due to that tightness.
Okay.
And
Do what
so I
happens?
tried to, during my PT yesterday, I tried to do at least 2 sets on everything on
Okay.
the left as well. If it was, you know, like I said, we did go up on quite a bit of stuff. Well, I kind of powered through some stuff. Like I worked on my form, like on the squats, I worked on my form a little bit
Great.
more, and I was able to get out, you know, like 3 sets of 10 and a bit more of a progression. Like they didn't.
Okay.
It was earlier in the workout. Like we didn't do it after I did the, you know, the leg presses and the leg curls and everything like that.
Yeah.
So it was, you know, it all depends on what order that they throw it at me at, you know. So the squats were like right after I got on the bike, so I was just warmed up and I was fresh, so I was able to bang those out pretty well.
Right.
You know, and then we kind of did the machines at the end, so it was kind of a nice balance, you know.
Okay, awesome. I want to try something new with you today. It's called block and strap. So I'm going to take a block and just ask you to bend both knees. Your feet are on the ground. Yeah, so feet are about hip width apart. And then just, actually, we're going to put this around your thighs. So lift up your feet, and I'm going to, put this around your thighs. And then if you could just adjust the buckle, or here, go back in. I'm going to put the block right here. Just like a gentle squeeze on the block. Doesn't have to be anything crazy. And then I want this to be pretty snug, but not like, blood restricting tight.
I think that's good. It
Just comfortable, but.
feels like the block is not going to hold the block up
Okay,
there, but
yeah, that's great. So I just want to work with a little bit of squeezing the block with the inner thighs and then pushing out onto the belt. So like the 2 opposing motions, right? And I want you to use maybe like 20% of your strength. Like this isn't a muscling, try and break the strap or squash the block exercise. This is just like, let's just get the muscles activated. And I want your awareness really to go into the inner legs on both movements. So what it feels like to contract, and then what it feels like for them to relax. Great. How's your breathing doing? Yeah, just checking with your breath.
better than it's been all morning.
And let's take it down to about 10% strength. So it's just a real easy squeeze in and squeeze out. And can you take your left hand and put it on, it looks like you're wearing a belt. You wearing a belt?
Uh-huh.
Yeah, can you just put it like on the top, middle, like down from your belly button? Yeah, just a little bit, so your hands are right on, your left hand's right on the belt. What I just want you to be able to feel is that there's just a little bit of the pelvis moving when you squeeze. There you go, you just totally reduced it tons. Very nice. They're just trying to isolate, what it feels like to isolate those middle of the thigh muscles. Remember last time you were here, you were laying on your side and lifting the leg with those muscles?
Uh-huh.
And so I'm just trying to get these guys like talking to your brain really well. That makes sense?
Yeah, I like this. I like in PT for the first couple of days, first few times, we were doing like a ball squeeze.
Oh, okay. Very
And-
similar.
and
Yeah,
that-
on the in.
Yeah,
Yeah,
and,
okay.
and that ended. Now we're not doing the ball squeeze anymore, but we added in like clamshells,
Right, good.
which
Okay.
ironically, like I say, I've already strengthened my right side to where my right side on the clamshell is stronger than this side burns out a little bit faster.
Yeah, so you have to make time for both sides, I guess.
Yeah, so
that's awesome.
they've been doing that at the end each time, and so they
Okay.
just kind of lately, you know, they're just kind of throwing me on the table. They're like, go to the table, you know, and
Right.
that's it, you know. I know what to do, and I just do what I do, and then I leave.
Yeah, that's
Um,
good. All right, so I'm gonna take you out of this, and then we're gonna go back to our marching. And, so let's be aware in the marching of the knees staying does it make sense if I say this plane? Like if I had a window of glass that was right here,
Right.
that the plane is gonna remain in the middle of the knee, so the knee doesn't go out to the right or out to the left. So can you just try marching, so lifting this or one, yeah? See how oh yeah, you did a really great job on the left. On the right, there's a little drop even before you pick it up. There you go. You see how you picked it up straight? Yeah, that's an improvement. I like that.
That's definitely
hard to do?
because it's definitely
change
hard to do, because I think that
Let's change
my
a few
my
things.
guess is that this leg has been so used to
Good job.
flaying out for so
Yeah.
long.
That it just wants to go right there, okay?
Yeah,
Yeah, exactly. I like how you just
I mean, like
just
I feel like torque in my low back.
excellent awareness. Yeah, you totally feel that. So let's slow it right down, and let's leave the foot on the block and just like lift a little weight off the foot. Don't even let the foot
Right.
come off the block. Like start with just the most basic, yep, and then let the weight go back into the block. And I like your hands on your low back. You keyed in right into that pelvic motion, right? That it was torquing. That was awesome. So yeah, just like
Yeah,
lighten
because
the
I'm
weight
able to
on the
like,
foot.
I'm able to like relax my glutes and my low back and everything a little bit, because right now it's like when I go to do that, like everything's tightening up.
I love that feedback. That's exactly what
Yeah.
I'm working toward. It's like we're gonna train that leg to come straight up, right? And that's exactly what you're doing right now. You're just reinforcing that pattern. And I love how all of this back here is like
Yeah.
very quiet.
Yeah, I've gotta like,
And so again, you could tap the top of your thigh. Remember how we were doing last time to think
Right.
about using that middle quad in the middle of the thigh? I love it. Great, yeah. Just add a little left.
yeah, it's still, you know, a lot of other stuff kind of gets involved for stabilizing and everything with
Yeah.
that, but it's starting to feel a bit more,
Yeah, that looks really good. That's a big difference.
ever so slowly.
But that's okay. That's exactly where you gotta start, is just this tiny little movement until your brain, it like defaults to this.
Right.
And then it'll naturally pick it up like that, and you won't even have to think about it. But it's like everything else, you know, like how many times you have to do something before it's like quick
Yeah,
and smooth,
and
and
you know
don't have
what,
to do it, right?
that's why I'm actually thinking like what's probably gonna be right for me now is gonna be to drop down to PT at least like once a week, try to
Okay.
get with you once a week.
Super.
And then also, for the other 2 times that I won't be going to PT, I'm gonna get back in my gym and not only necessarily do the hip routine,
Yeah.
but you know, maybe throw in a bit of other stuff too that just makes me, you know, I'm usually a good, like, I'm not the, you know, Tuesdays and Thursdays are leg days and, you know, Mondays and Wednesdays are chest days
Yeah.
and, you know, I just like stroll through the gym and I'm like, that looks fun today, you know?
Whatever
and
you feel like doing. Works.
yeah, and,
Yeah, that's cool.
and that's it. And I kind of want to get back on like the elliptical again and everything, where
Okay.
you know, where I can kind of work on the form and everything.
Yeah,
and
that would be a
just
great
not-
way. That'd be a great way to move your legs and keep them in that plane that I'm
Right,
talking about. Not let
exactly.
just on like super easy, light,
Yeah.
and just getting that
Because
motion.
like if you do that, you know, 10,000, 20,000 times or something like
Yeah,
that,
then you're gonna start to walk.
your
like
mind's
that.
gonna exactly.
Yeah, I really like that idea.
Exactly.
And it'd be really easy to see your knees when you're on there too.
Right.
It's a little bit harder when you're laying down.
Like that's what I've
Yeah.
been trying to do on the bike even too,
Yeah.
is kind of keep a decent form where
That's
I'm,
really
I'm
important.
not, you know.
All right, let's give this leg a rest and we'll switch to the other leg. I'll move the blocks over your foot. There you go. So let's start right away with the block in the middle and just your feet a little bit wider so they're not too close together. Yeah. And then do the same thing, just lifting weight. Just lift the weight of the foot. Yeah, you're getting a great concept of keeping the knee.
Same, like I said, there's different,
Checking
I
if
can
you're breathing.
definitely feel like different challenges on this side.
Oh, yeah?
Felt like a vertebrae just kind of like went
Oh, well, that's good.
into place. Maybe it was the tailbone, might have been the coccyx. Something was like popping down there a little bit. It's good.
That's it.
The scar was all itchy last night. I think that it feels like the sutures are finally starting to dissolve a little
Oh,
bit.
good.
And maybe, I don't know, I'd say maybe somewhere between 30 and 50% dissolved or something like that, it feels like.
Oh, good. Are you doing any scar work on it?
Not at the moment.
Yeah.
I haven't done anything
You
yet.
said you can, or is it too early?
You know, I'm not sure if it's too early. I haven't really talked to any of my scar people, but I figure, you know, since the stitches are still in there, kind of until that, you know, pans out,
Yeah, maybe.
then
Wait till then.
it's kind of hard to, you know, to figure out what's left over that needs work,
Yeah, exactly.
you know. I mean, the first thing that has to happen is all those scar tissues need to form and everything. Then after everything's formed, you can kind of start reforming,
Yeah.
you know,
Straightening it
breaking
out.
it down and then, you know,
Yeah.
kind of normalizing the tissue.
All right. Can you put your hands back into your low back and let's see what's happening in your low back with the left side, if there is anything. That was nice and calm.
I immediately do less if I've got that lumbar support. It just, I think it adds an extra layer of stability to like the lumbar, so I don't feel like I have to protect,
Oh, you're
you,
protect.
you know, I think,
Let's cut the height that you go in half. Just go, yeah. 'Cause after that little bit, it seems like the foot is going in a little bit. Knee looks really good. It's coming straight up. It's very nice. Yeah, think about the inner thigh and when we just did the block and strap, you know that feeling when you're squeezing the block? To use that muscle to keep the knee to towards the midline. What's
Yo.
that? Oh, she loves me.
Hello.
She's a little flirt.
How you doing?
It's like, you have dogs. That's not dog.
You still stole my doggy up there?
She's a trip.
Yeah.
See a couple more.
It's so funny how different personalities cats can have and everything. Oh my God, the dogs definitely have their own personality, but the cats are just like,
Just as crazy. I got 5 and they're all completely different.
yeah,
I got 2 brothers and sisters and they're completely different brothers. Like
Yeah.
one is freakish and one is calm as can be.
it's like you'll have one where you have people over and the cat attacks them, and you have other one where, the
It'll
cat
hide the whole party.
comes up and just, they disappear and they're gone for 2 days,
Yeah.
like, how dare you bring somebody into my house, and God.
Yeah. All right, let's do a couple more on this side. Looks nice and calm when the heel comes off of the block. I was seeing just like a little bit of like, almost like a pre-movement brace before, like anticipatory, but now it looks like it's just slowly lifting off the block. That's fantastic. All right, let me take the blocks out, and then let's go back to, remember last time we did some pelvic tilts?
Okay.
So, where's right now? And I like how the cat knows where to lie, so she's in the camera, right? Like she's got this whole map. She's got to lie. She's got to lie in the.
I know, we're
Isn't that
doing
hilarious?
class
Like,
together.
look at
There
me.
we
Here
go.
I am. How cute am I? I love her. All right, so it's the same kind of idea, trying to isolate the pelvis and just like rocking it forward, so it's like the pubic bone goes down, and then pressing the low back. Oh, actually, more like the top of the back of the pelvis into the mat, like right down here, pretty low, and then lifting that part off. But really trying to keep that rib cage completely or close to isolated. Can you widen your stance a little bit with your, yeah, there you go. And then when you're wider with your feet, your knees don't go up to the side so much. Does that make sense? So it keeps your knees in line with your feet, which is awesome. All right, so I want you to just pause for a second while I talk. I want you to think of a line from like right down here at the base of your like sternum rib cage. It goes all the way to your pubic bone. And that's going to be a pull that'll lift the pubic bone back. Yeah, and then you totally cut out your hamstrings with that. Very nice. Yeah. Still just a tiny bit of hamstrings left. Let's try and just go half as far with the pelvis. So just a tiny little movement. There you go. And then it's kind of like if you imagine your tailbone reaching for the mat. That makes sense? Like when you lift the low back a little bit, the tailbone rolls down onto the mat. Really nice. Your upper body is super relaxed. Your feet relaxed. Let's try a little bit of noodle under your low back. Could you lift up? Put my slide it under. There you go. Maybe you can find your position. You know what I have to say? I'm breathless. I just felt mat, and I'm gonna slide it under your hip so that it's not quite as high. Can your hips rest down on the mat when you come all the
They
way
don't
down?
rest, but
Here,
they're close to it.
let me double it. And see if we can get you so you can rest a little bit.
Now they would rest.
Okay. Alright, I like it. Little bit of hamstring action there. Again, focus on the top of your belly, from your rib cage to your pubic bone. That pulls your pubic bone towards your chin. Yeah, there you go. And try to get your pelvis to move around the femur bone. Does that make sense? Without the femur bone moving. But in marching, we were doing the opposite, right? We were moving the leg bone in the pelvis. All right, take a break and let me grab a strap. All right, here you go. If you could put one end in each hand, and then we'll put your foot kind of aromatic style in your foot. And then you put one strap in each hand, yeah. And then with the knee bent, just raise your leg up. Yep. And then slowly start to straighten the leg, yeah. And how do the hamstrings feel?
Good.
Okay, let's bring that leg forward a little bit and see if you could take your pelvis and press your pelvis into that pad that's underneath you. It's gonna feel like opposing, the hip and the leg will be opposing each other. Does that make sense? The hip's going down towards the mat, and then the leg is, you can let the leg out if you want, and then start with the hips pressing. There you go, hips are pressing, and see if you can hold that press and bring the leg really slow. Yeah, very nice. And then bend the knee and bring the foot down. And then take a breath. And then press the hips into the mat. There you go. And then see if you can straighten that knee and bring the toes towards your nose. So you get a little more stretch. How's that feel in the hamstrings? You getting a little bit of stretch or none at all?
Yeah.
Okay, good. You're very flexible though. You have a lot of range there.
I don't know about that.
Well,
Come on,
you sounded so tight.
What is that, like 50%?
No. We're just looking for a straight 90.
Yeah, I know.
And you're not far from it. So there you go. Yeah.
I'm not quite at a straight 90 yet. Let's try that again.
You got a little bend in your, well, you're way past now. You're like,
Yeah.
yeah. Okay.
We got a different definition of half. I usually consider
okay.
half like straight vertical.
Oh no, but that is supposed to be maximum.
But it's not. I usually consider, like I usually call it like 90 degrees, even though it's
Yeah.
not,
Yeah.
it's not proper because your full range of motion isn't to here. Your full range of motion is usually to about,
Yeah.
there is like 100%. Maybe there if somebody's like hyper flexible,
Like
but.
Cirque du Soleil kind of stuff.
Well, and not everybody's hips are the same. When you look at,
Sure.
I saw this fascinating graphic once that showed two different femurs. And, on some people, the ball is like that.
Yeah.
And on other people, the ball is like
Yeah.
that.
Like physically, the hip can't
So-
do certain
So
things.
that's gonna be
Yeah.
completely different if the ball is there as
Yeah.
opposed to the ball is there. That's
I
gonna
totally
be a
agree.
completely different
different range of motion.
Yeah.
How it's exactly, I mean, it's exactly, if you put a car together differently,
Yeah.
it's gonna work differently, like,
Yeah.
if the two parts aren't, so I totally get what you're saying.
Yeah.
Okay, so let's grab the straps, and let's try that one more time, and I want you to think about when you slowly straighten the knee, that it's not about the knee going straight back, it's about the heel lifting towards the ceiling, so it's not pushing on your knee. Does that make sense? So let's slowly bring, the pelvis down, and then bring the foot up, and think about that heel, going up towards the ceiling. That's awesome. And can you straighten your arms straight up? So you reach the sky. And then I want to make this kind of a lower and raise the leg.
They're not telling me to do some kind of helicopter shit or something. I'm gonna be like, wait a minute, now spin your leg around.
Yeah, around 3 times.
All right.
And have a shot of tequila. Just kidding. All right, how's the pressure in the pelvis? You allowed to maintain a little bit of pressure down into the mat?
Yeah, a little bit.
Okay. That's fine. It's gonna vary, and that's the whole point, is to feel what the pelvis is doing, and work with it. So let's do the same thing. Press a little bit into the mat, and then raise the leg up. Very nice speed. And then straighten your hands slowly to the ceiling, and then allow your leg to remain straight and come down to the mat. So your knee is straight, and so your arms will reach down towards, there you go. Very nice. I'll switch it to your other foot.
Uh-oh.
No. Put down another leg. And so we'll start slow with pressing the pelvis in and slowly raise the leg.
This one up.
It's fine, don't have to go to you. Make sure you can still breathe. It's not too much. Alright, and lower.
Ooh.
Yeah.
That one's
different?
actually tighter because through the years I've probably worked this right side more
Yeah.
to try to get it.
So where do you feel it most in the left when you're lifting the leg up?
Hamstrings,
Okay.
all the way down through the calf.
Fabulous, alright. And can you keep that pelvis pressed into the mat and then lift up the leg? Breathing. And then slowly lower down, straight leg. Let's take a break. And we'll do a couple more.
Well, you'd be in trouble if you went to Aaron. We'd both be in trouble if we went to Aaron's class over there. And he'd be like, I don't know what you're doing over there, but
You got it. You got that right.
is that a pool noodle?
Yes, I think you're right. I think that's exactly what it would be.
Oh
Oh my god, that's awesome. Okay, let's do a couple more. Yeah.
I know. I'm freaking scared to go over there. I'd be like, you'd be like, do the foot routine. I'm like,
Whoa. It's been a while. I know.
So where are you starting these days, Aaron? He's like, you got a page number on that?
Yeah, exactly. Do you have a new book? You have it on YouTube? Yeah, that's funny. I'll be right there.
It's freaking 2021. Aren't you on YouTube yet?
Yeah. Oh, he's very old school. We know that.
I know. We still need to do some videos too because I keep telling my people, I'm like, I wish I could go tell you to go to YouTube and look for the,
Oh,
and
yeah.
look for the hip stretch or something, but, and I should have the videos out there, but, I don't know, there's such a plethora of, especially now,
Oh, it's
with all these
money.
stretching places and everything, it's
Yeah.
like, who knows what you're gonna get.
Yeah, I know.
Chances are it's not really fully rooted in Aaron's work.
Yeah, I know, it's a flyby. All right, let's try straightening that.
I need to see if, even for now, if I could find another therapist that even if I, just could give it to my clients and go, you know what, go look up, John Thompson or whatever.
Oh,
and,
yeah.
and
Find quality.
And at least
video.
know that there's a few stretches that they can do that I'm not gonna be sending them to,
Yeah.
just telling them to, hey, Google that this,
Yeah, do whatever.
active isolated stretching and see what comes up.
Yeah, I know.
Okay.
All right, so let's press the hip into the mat and then slowly lift the leg up and slowly straighten the knee. Yeah, just a gentle stretch on the hamstring. And see if you can slowly lower the leg, keeping it straight. Very nice. And can you lift the leg up straight, helping with the strap? And then lower the leg straight. And let's just check in with that right leg. It's starting to tip to the right. Yeah. Move your foot out and then the knee's nice and straight. Yeah, great correction. I like it. All right, how's that feel lifting the leg like that?
Good.
Yeah, that's good. Is it feeling stronger as you?
Yeah, well, this one's pretty good like that. It's not super strong, like I'm not ready to strap any weights on it or
That's
anything
okay.
yet.
But it's coming.
But this one's definitely weaker. But
Right.
again, that's another thing that we haven't been doing in PT, and I haven't been doing it on my own. We've been doing a lot of other things, and normally they don't give me the benefit of the strap, so.
Yeah. Well, it's coming though.
I like the strap though, because with that extra tiny little pull, I can get it to full range,
Yeah.
and assist it as necessary,
Right.
and I'm used to doing it. I've done, that's the way Aaron does it,
Yeah,
so.
exactly. So it's just kind of like, it's so totally in your brain. All right, I'm gonna take the mat out. If you just lift up your hips, not the mat, the felt pad, yeah. And then you could
I
roll.
was like, that's gonna be a
That's
stretch.
right.
I'm like, Tanya's learning some new stuff
Yeah,
here.
got a
and I
magic
don't-
trick.
Yeah,
All right, and if you could roll onto your side, either way, we're gonna do both sides. And then I'll put the noodle
Oh, God.
kind of in the same place. So it's kind of in between your ribs, closer to your pelvis, yeah. Looks like it's about right. Let me just straighten it a little bit. Can you roll forward a little bit?
Roll forward.
Yeah, forward, yeah, there you go, just like a little bit in the back, yeah. I don't know if it did much. Oh yeah, so you're nice and perpendicular to the mat, yeah. And then let's do the pelvic tilt with the top hand kind of on top of the rim of the pelvis, and then just, I want you to think about a line that goes this way, like from your armpit to your hip. So the hip is just moving, this is your pelvis, it's moving like this. This is great. Last time you were doing, the first time your knee and your feet were moving a lot, and now they're totally relaxed, which is awesome. Do you find it easier to move one way other than the other? Like down or up?
This is a pretty easy move for me.
Okay, awesome. Does it feel tight at all in the back or the hip?
Pretty good.
Great. Just gonna look at you from a different angle.
I was looking at your purse hanger over there, that,
Oh, yeah.
we totally need, we've got one by the front door, but it's like the hooks aren't, we've got dog leashes
Oh, yeah.
and, and then I'm constantly looking for, like, where's my phone, where's my keys, I'm getting
I
ready to
know.
leave, and I'm
Yeah,
like,
that thing's a lifesaver, because it used to, all that stuff used to pile up on here,
yeah.
or over on the bench, and so that made me crazy, so I just.
And I'd like, if we had that like in addition to what we've currently got, maybe
Yeah.
move, you know,
Maybe it would be helpful.
yeah.
Yeah, I love it, it's been, it does sometimes start to collect too much junk, and once in a while I gotta do sweep.
Yeah, you look over there and there's a basketball balancing on the top of it.
All right, let's roll on to the other side and do the other side.
Oh, man.
I know,
Brutal.
lots of moving around, huh?
Oh, at least the phone's not ringing. Oh. Yeah, this is, I decided today I'm gonna place an ad on. Last time I tried Craigslist, but I really need to get serious about this, and I don't have time. I think I need to invest the money and put an ad on Indeed, but
Oh, yeah.
it could get overwhelming, but you know what? I can also whittle it down a lot faster, because chances are most everybody's gonna send me a resume, and
Yeah.
you know, it's gonna be more organized. And so if that finds me the right person and costs me
Yeah.
a few $100s or whatever, it'll be money well spent.
And are they gonna work remotely? Just like answer the phone and book on the computer kind?
That's the idea eventually, but I'm kinda looking at it like, hey, you know, right now, I need so much help
Do you want to lock
breaking
for your
down.
head? Want to lock?
Sure.
Is that better?
Yeah, like breaking down the new office
Yeah.
and then setting up the, you know, breaking down the old you know what I meant. Breaking
Yeah.
down the old office and setting up the new office and everything.
That left knee is starting to help out a little bit. There you go. Good eye. So a little bit of tension in that left leg. See if you, yeah, there you go. You just drop that top knee onto the bottom knee. Very nice.
Vertebrae are doing some really crazy stuff right now.
Well, that's good.
This is where I'm getting that stuff that's, it's not like, feels like almost a little bit of grinding. It's not
Okay.
painful, but it's
Okay.
like there's something in there that's,
In what area of your back? Low, mid, kinda? Okay.
right here.
Okay,
I guess it would be around
but not
the
painful.
thoracics.
Okay.
I said it's not painful. I can't tell exactly which vertebrae it is, but there's something back there that's like a little crunchy.
Let's try moving your hips a little bit less and see if that top leg can really chill out. There you go.
That's crazy how much more like I'm getting it every time on this side. but I
Yeah, it doesn't take long to kind of
I
increase
didn't
it,
get
isn't it
once-
interesting?
I didn't get once on the other side where I was getting that like crunchy feeling, and the other side was a lot more relaxed.
Yeah,
But
Yeah,
this,
I agree.
this side, but again, this whole side was compensating for so
Mhm.
long that,
yeah. It might take a little more to get it relaxed, right? It's amazing, even a surgery on the other side, and this side is.
well, I mean,
relaxed.
geez, this is like at least a 15-year pattern.
Oh,
And
yeah,
I-
15
And the
years.
surgeons are telling me that, you know, that the socket never really formed right, so it could have been a, you know, 50,
Right, exactly.
56-year-old pattern.
Exactly, like this is, like you said, like this is what you were born with, who knows, right? And it just, you know, as we get older, those things kind of amplify. Awesome. All right, let's take a break from that, and if you can just lift up a little bit and stay on your side, I'll take the noodle out.
Oh, boy.
Yeah, press it here, there you go. And lay back down on your right side, that'd be great.
Oh.
All right, take a moment.
Boy, I tell you, I've got so used to the mask and everything, and my gym went to maskless, and I think I told you last time I wasn't, or not maskless, but mask optional.
Okay.
And I wasn't
Yeah.
real keen about that.
Yeah.
But then, I went in last time, and, everybody that was there that time seemed to be kind of, respectful of kind of trying to social distance a little
Do they
bit.
keep the numbers low, like do they track how many people? are
Yeah,
in,
it's
or-
pretty,
Okay,
they're
that's
pretty
good.
low, but, still, it's a,
Yeah.
it's a fairly closed-in building, and, there's, 20, there's probably, there's probably 8 or 10 staff running around there, and 10, maybe 10 clients continuously, so, you're in a big room with 20 other people.
Let's do a little bit of that bottom leg lift. So the bottom leg straight, and then the top leg. Did we find it more comfortable in the front, or did we can try and put it under a block?
I think we flipped around a little bit.
Yeah,
that was-
we'll just try and, I think we need to align your body first. So can you just put that top leg on top of the bottom leg, and let's get your shoulder, and ear, and hip in a line. And let's have you be perpendicular to the mat, so you're not, right now you're leaning towards me. So come on, yeah, a little bit further. But actually even more. Yeah, there you go. Now you're perpendicular to the mat. And if you could slide your heel back towards me. This heel right here. Yeah, so your whole leg comes back, so your leg's in line with your spine. Yeah, there we go. So now, like your heel and your hips, your shoulder, and your ear are all in a line. That's awesome. So we're gonna lift, once we get the left leg in place, we're gonna lift the right leg. And how does that top leg feel in that position? Feels okay?
Yeah.
There you go, yeah. You relax those toes. You've lifted with your toes. There you go. Remember the block and strap when we pressed into the block? Those are those muscles on the inside of the thigh. Yeah, that's a great correction. You noticed you're leading with your foot. Let's try something else. Let's try bending the knee. So your foot, yeah. Yeah, and let's just try lifting the knee up. There you go. I like that. Can you feel that in your inner thigh?
Yeah.
And then now your foot is nice and relaxed. Very nice. And just check in with that top hamstring, the left hamstring. I know it's doing some stabilizing, so it's got to work. How's that hold now? Is it getting tired?
That's a much better position
Okay.
than straight leg.
It's straight leg? Perfect. Your torso looks nice and relaxed. And how's your breath?
Good.
Great. Can you keep stable if you take your left hand onto your hip? It's a little bit more challenging for your core to keep yourself stable. That's really good. Oh, sorry. Let's take a break, and when you're ready, slowly roll onto the opposite side, please.
Oh, so I got my guy over trying to start to hurricane shutter install,
Oh, okay, good for you.
which would be,
Season came.
which would be great, yeah, there's still kind of old-fashioned metal shutters, but it's better than plywood, and
Yeah.
we're moving up a notch.
Yeah, no, it's good if you have all the screws ready and everything set up to go.
Yeah, at least
Yeah.
that way, yeah, it's only, one person can do it in a
Yeah.
few hours if they need to,
Yeah, and that's what has to happen. I love that you're doing, because what is it, it's May what? So we're already in
Yeah.
a couple weeks in, and it's totally before everyone's.
No, I
busy,
don't wanna be
supplies are
waiting
out.
and doing this shit under,
August.
through the night with the friggin',
100 degrees out.
Yeah,
the day.
because I had to get rid of my shed, which had all the plywood in, and the plywood hadn't been taken out in a couple years anyway, so chances are most of the plywood was no good anymore
Rotten and
anyway.
toast. And then there's a big rush on plywood, and then this year lumber's crazy.
Yeah,
Lumber's like, the price of wood is like tripled or something.
yeah.
Yeah, so you're so smart to do it earlier, huh? Yeah, I haven't done anything yet for hurricane this year, it's time to.
Well, and I lucked out, I found a guy that, a lot of people have panels and stuff that they're getting rid of, but not too many people have track. Most of the time, the track gets destroyed when they're trying to, take it down off of the house or whatever, and the track is pretty pricey, like, we would have been up in the thousands of bucks just in track.
Really?
I've looked on Craigslist, I found a guy up in, I don't know where the hell he was, West Palm or something we drove, or Boca, no, it was somewhere in between, Del Rey, I don't know. It took us a while to get up there, I wasn't driving, yeah, he had taken down a big house, had aluminum shutters, had the track, and it's
Great.
almost enough track to do my house.
Oh, that's great, good. Good
Yeah.
for you. It was worth the effort going through
So,
Craigslist. You found
yeah.
some good stuff on it, that's totally awesome.
Yeah, and it was a great, I was like $300, that gets most of my track done. It gets me from steel shutters down to aluminum shutters, and they're Florida code approved too, so.
That's
In
awesome.
case I ever, need that for
Yeah.
anything, like if we get tagged when I'm trying to put the windows in and code enforcement comes by, at
Yeah.
least I'll have
Yeah.
Florida approved shutters
Yeah.
up, so code enforcement will be a little bit nicer
Yeah,
to
and
me.
your insurance might be too, actually.
Yeah,
Alright, let's see if we can get that bottom leg bent, and that top leg, yep. There you go.
okay.
And how does this starting spot feel compared to the other side?
I felt like I was able to get kind of aligned a little bit easier.
Yeah, it looked like you kinda just like fell right into it a little bit easier. Yeah, I thought the same thing. Yeah.
The other side, I was thinking, well, geez, I'm never gonna do this without Tanny around, 'cause.
Try bending that left, is that your left knee a little bit more? Yeah, there you go.
Don't even think about it, kitty.
It's just like, I'm the star of the show. And try and relax that foot. It's like that foot is pushing, like you're leveraging off that foot. There you go. Very nice. You switched entirely to that in your thigh muscle. That looks good. And try and time your exhale if you can with the lift of the thigh. A couple more. There you go. Take a break. Relax, stretch out if you want to. Alright, let's do one more thing in standing.
Standing?
Yeah, standing.
I think I could do that.
I have to get up, what do you mean?
Okay. Yeah, that's cool.
Take your time.
Oh.
You gonna count? I haven't counted mine yet.
1, 2, 3, 4.
Ah.
4.
Oh, I
now
think that's pretty good. I'm pretty impressed.
that wasn't too bad from not counting the original ones, but you had me tied up like a pretzel, so.
That doesn't count. All right, we're gonna do the same thing. So we're gonna start with this strap in our arch. Let's start with your left foot. And we're going to start with our feet hip width apart, facing, toes straight forward. Very nice, and just a little bit of tension in the strap so you can feel your arch pulling up.
Okay.
And then let's think about, like if you had water in your right leg and the water is slowly flowing into your left leg, so the weight slowly shifts into that right leg. That's your left leg, my right, exactly. And I want you to come on back with your shoulders. Yep. And I want the shoulders to stay, but the weight to shift. So it's really in your mind. Oh, we're going a little bit shoulders. Bring your shoulders back. There you go. Think about feeling the right leg lessen and the left leg, So let's keep the shoulders still and then lift, or just mirror me with this leg here. So my left and your right. Just lift the heel up. There you go. And then the heel down. Do you feel a little bit of rock in your body? See if you can reduce that rock. So let the knee bend with the lift of the heel. There you go. See how the shoulders didn't move? Yeah. And then down. And again. And then when the knee's bent, hold it there and feel how much weight is in that toe. And then relax it back. And this time, think about your weight with the strap and then reduce the weight in that toe with the lifted heel. There you go. Very nice. Trying to get your toes to the point that they start to feel light on the mat, like they could just pop off.
Oh man, there was a young basketball player in PT yesterday.
Oh yeah?
I want to do one of the things that he was doing. Not yet, mind you, but
eventually. All right, I'm just gonna put a little finger here, and I want you to not touch my finger and lift that heel. There you go. Very nice. All right, let's take a
so
break.
you ever seen, I don't know quite what they call it, but the slide mat. So it's a mat that's probably maybe a little bit longer than the yoga mat.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know, a foot longer or something like that with like blocks on the end. And it's like, it folds so you can, transport it or whatever. And it's like super, super slick. It's like laminate or something like that, like polished laminate. And then you put these greased up lightning socks on over your shoes or whatever like that. And you push off and slide over to one side.
Yeah,
and
I've seen it.
Push off and slide over to the other.
Yeah,
that looked
insane.
That looked really cool, but I was like, man, that would be like, if I could get to a point to do that and not kill myself.
That would be awesome. Strength, huh? Strength.
It reminded me of, because I rollerbladed for years.
Oh, yeah.
So
like
I'm used to that. I used to have a ton of strength here.
Yeah.
From all the rollerblading.
Well, for sure, yeah.
And also when I turn, a lot of times, I get in the habit, I could really, I was limber enough and strong enough to where when I would do I was doing my turns, they were all crossovers and everything too. So I used to be strong going both ways.
That's hard to do.
When I could blade.
I thought I was a blader for about a year. All right, let's get into the other foot.
Ooh, doggy.
Yeah, it reminds me almost like skiing. You know,
Yeah.
like that hip motion, like you know when they're doing mogul kind of skiing.
Oh, it looked fun. It reminded me of some of my, cause I fly in my dreams quite often. It was like if I had to pick a superpower or something like that, it would probably be to fly, you know?
Oh, I love it.
I think that would be so cool. It's like, bye, I'm going to work. You know, it's
I
like,
love it. Me and Connor have that conversation every day. What's your top 5 superpowers, Mom? If you could have anything. I love it. All right, let's take our feet hip width or a little bit wider and feet straight ahead. Yep, there you go. And we'll shift the weight into the foot with the belt.
oh, no way.
Okay, and again, let's keep the shoulders. Yeah, so it's just the leg. Just, yeah, a little tiny lift of the heel. Awesome. You've really reduced your lean. And try and relax that right foot a little bit. Don't let your left foot, sorry. And to the back of your head. There you go. And allow that left knee to bend a little. Yeah, that's nice. So I'm thinking about trust and your right leg. Being able to trust the new hip and let that weight into the hip. And do the same thing with my finger here. Try not to. Move my finger. Yeah, very nice. That's it.
It helps to think of, I just realized it helps to think of, you know, really trying to ground into that.
That foot. That's exactly right. So you feel that, or you're almost pushing into the
Yeah.
ground. Yeah, excellent. Love that awareness. Really nicely
Yeah.
done. And that's what I'm trying to create, because you've been doing this for so long, right? You've been taking the
Yeah.
grounding out of that to protect the hip.
Yeah,
And now it's like, it's okay to trust
yeah,
that weight going down into that leg.
uh-huh,
Yeah, and then so you know when we walk, there's that whole time when this leg's swinging and all my weight's on that
Yeah.
foot, right? So your body can really let the weight sink in. You don't have to brace here like, oh, I can't put all that weight into that hip, right?
well, and that goes along with
awesome.
a lot of the other stuff that I'm already doing, like the step ups and everything, and, you know.
Yeah,
and,
so you have to, like lift
And I'm,
with the
and I'm
leg.
trying, and that's
great.
why, like I say, like they're only really wanting me to do them, you know, unilaterally, and I'm doing them bilaterally because I'm feeling very unique, different challenges on both
Of
sides.
course.
You know, I'm noticing a big, and it's only because I'm body aware, and I'm also,
Of course,
and I'm
yeah.
also aware enough. You know, I watch people in the gym all the time, and I'm like, you know, that dude over there, that lady's like ripped, but you know what? Chances are they're gonna end up in my clinic, you know, at some day, and they're gonna be like, well, I tore my shoulder, and I'm like, you know, it's because you were being an idiot.
Ridiculous. Push, push, push. I know. Just because it looks muscular doesn't mean it's balanced.
Yeah, you know, and they're like doing all kinds of compensation and everything to get, and I'm like, slow it down. I could drop their weight in half, and also drop their speed and everything in half, and go, okay, now do 10 of them like this.
And do it properly.
You
Yeah,
know,
not
and-
swinging them with momentum or.
Yeah, you know, and trying to impress, you know, people because they got a whole bunch of weights on their, you know.